You open your phone, not because you wanted to, not because you had something to check. You just opened it. And now, 5 minutes are gone, and you don't even remember what you looked at. You close it, you open it again. There's something you're supposed to be doing. You know what it is. It's been sitting in the back of your mind for days, maybe weeks. That project, that decision, that version of your life you keep picturing but never quite stepping into. And you're not ignoring it because you don't care. You care. You care so much it almost hurts to think about. But somewhere between the intention and the action, something breaks down, and you end up on the couch, scrolling, watching someone else do the thing you meant to do, telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, when you're fresh, when you're ready, when you feel like it. And the next morning comes, and you don't feel like it, and the cycle starts again. The alarm goes off. You hit snooze, not because you're tired, because you don't want to face the day before your brain has found something to make it easier. So you reach for the phone before your feet hit the floor. You fill yourself up with noise before you've even had a thought of your own. Someone else's opinion, someone else's highlight reel, someone else's life. And by the time you get up, something has already been taken from you. That quiet window in the morning where your mind belongs to you. Gone, replaced. You sit down to work, or you mean to, but first, you check one thing, then another, then a notification pulls you sideways, and you follow it, and 20 minutes later you surface, blinking, wondering what you were doing before. You try to find your focus, but it won't come. The ideas are blurry, the motivation is flat. You stare at the blank page, or the empty screen, or the task you've been avoiding, and you feel something you can't quite name. Not laziness, not stupidity, something heavier, like exhaustion without having done anything, like wanting to want something, but not being able to reach it. You start to wonder if something is wrong with you. Why can other people just sit down and do the work? Why does everyone else seem to have energy, drive, momentum? Why does getting started feel like moving through concrete? And the quiet voice in your head starts to say things. You're weak, you're undisciplined, you're wasting your potential. And you believe it because you don't have another explanation. But here's the truth. You are not lazy. You are overstimulated. There is a difference. And once you understand it, nothing looks the same. Your brain was not built for this. It was not designed for infinite scroll. It was not built to process hundreds of opinions before breakfast. It was not made to live in a world where every moment of boredom is immediately rescued by a screen. Boredom used to be where your best ideas lived. Discomfort used to be where your strength was built. Silence used to be where you heard yourself think. But you haven't sat in silence long enough to finish a thought in a long time, have you? Every time you feel the pull to start something hard, something easier appears. A video, a message, a distraction dressed as a break. And your brain, which is wired to choose ease over effort, takes it. Every single time. Not because you're weak, because you've trained it to. Thousands of tiny choices, repeated every day, have taught your mind that the moment discomfort arrives, relief is available immediately. So it never learned to sit with the discomfort long enough to move through it. And the work, the real work, lives on the other side of that discomfort, which means you've been living your whole life just before the threshold, close, but never crossing. And this is where everything changes, because this is not a motivation problem. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings change. Feelings come and go depending on your sleep, your mood, your last meal, what you saw on your phone 10 minutes ago. You cannot build a life on a feeling. You cannot build a life on waiting to feel ready, because ready is a story we tell ourselves to avoid starting, and starting is the only thing that has ever mattered. The people you admire are not more inspired than you. They are not more talented. They are not waking up every morning on fire, driven by some burning passion that never flickers. They have bad days. They have moments of doubt. They sit down to do the work and feel nothing, and they do it anyway. Not because they don't feel what you feel, because they've stopped negotiating with it. That's the thing nobody tells you about discipline. It is not about becoming a machine. It is not about removing feeling. It's about deciding that your commitment to who you are becoming is stronger than your preference for comfort in this moment. That is not punishment. That is self-respect. When you say you will do something and then you don't, you are not just skipping a task. You are teaching yourself something. You are teaching yourself that your word means nothing, that your intentions don't translate, that the gap between who you say you are and who you actually are is permanent. And every time that happens, that gap widens, and it takes more to cross it. And you drift further from the version of yourself you keep promising to become. But the opposite is also true. When you say you will do something and you do it, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, something shifts. Not dramatically, not in ways you can immediately see, but quietly underneath everything, a foundation is being built. One kept promise at a time, one small act of follow through at a time. You are becoming someone who does what they said they would do, and that person is capable of things the current version of you can barely imagine. The overstimulation won't stop on its own. The world will not become less noisy. The notifications will not slow down. The feed will not run out. Nobody is coming to make the environment easier, which means the only variable that can change is you. Not dramatically, not overnight, just slightly, just enough. What would happen if, tomorrow morning, before you opened your phone, you did one thing? Just one. Whatever it is that you've been postponing. Not for an hour, not perfectly, just started, just touched it, sat with it long enough for the discomfort to pass and something real to emerge. What version of you is on the other side of that? You already know the answer. You've known for a while. The question was never what to do. The question is whether you respect yourself enough to do it. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when it gets easier. Now, in the quiet, in the discomfort, before you feel like it. So, what are you going to do with the next hour of your life?